Hello everyone, in this video we'll be solving problem 79, word search. The problem statement is, we are given an m by n grid of characters stored and a string word. We need to return true if word exists in the grid. In example number 1, with the given grid in m by n size and the string given is ABCCED, if we start traversing through the grid and try to connect the horizontal and vertical neighbors, we can form the string given to us. A, B, C, these are all horizontal, but the next two characters are vertical, downwards, while the last character D is in the left direction. So basically, we need to go in all four directions to check if the word can be built. I hope you were able to understand the problem statement. We can use backtracking to solve this problem. So let's switch to whiteboard and discuss how we can solve this using backtracking. In the backtracking approach, we'll try to build the string using the combination of strings to see if it matches the input. If at any given point of time the combination do not match, we undo the last operation and try a different pair. We continue to try this approach until we have found the string that we are looking for, or we have exhausted all permutations and return false. As we are traversing through the grid to identify the string, we need to traverse through all the four directions to see if we are able to build the string that given to us. That is, we'll traverse in four directions, up, down, left and right, to identify the next string and compare it with the input. And depending on the position of this character x, few directions may not be possible. Like for example, if x is already on the edge or the corner, we may not be able to do all the four operations. Let's try to build this tree using the given input, starting with the first character in the grid, that is A. A will become the parent node, while its children will be the characters in all four directions appearing in the grid. As A is the first element in the grid, it will not have any elements to its left or to the top. So both of those children will be null. So we'll only populate the down one, which is S, and the right one, which is B. The only reason we built this graph and went to the children is because the character A matches the first character in the input string. Now we'll apply the DFS approach here and iterate through the graph and compare each character in the graph with the corresponding character in the input string. So here the character towards the downwards direction do not match the input string, so we can't go in that direction, and instead we'll go in the right side. Because we are moving in all four directions, as we go deeper, it is possible that one of the direction will take us back to the previous character that we have already iterated. So to make sure we don't do that, we'll temporarily update its value to hash. We'll undo this chain after we have completed all of the DFS traversals. Now considering B as the parent node, we have two directions where we can go. We can't go left because that's the direction we came from. So we have bottom and right. So the values are F and C. So we'll compare these values against the next character in the input string. And if the characters match, we'll go in that direction. So in this case, the bottom character do not match. So we will not go in that direction and instead go towards the right side, which is C. In this way, we continue to traverse and build the tree while comparing the values at each depth. If the values match, we continue to go deeper, or else we backtrack from that point and try a different combination while making sure the characters match to the input string. Let's say we did not find the input word that we are looking for while we started the entire tree with A. So we'll start the next iteration with B as the parent node and try to build the input string. And similarly, we'll continue to do that with all of the strings as the parent node until we have identified the input string. If we did not find the input combination we are looking for, the output will be false. Now let's calculate its time complexity. In the worst case scenario, we'll have to iterate through all of the elements in the input grid and build a tree with that element as the parent. The time complexity will be O of m into n. And at each element, we are running a DFS traversal for all of the children. Each node can have up to 3 children because we are going to run this in 3 directions. We don't want to go in the direction from where the previous traversal came from. So instead of 4, the traversal will be 3 directions. So the time complexity will be 3 raised to power k, where k is the depth or length of the input string. So combining the two together gives us the time complexity of O of m into n into 3 raised to power k. While the space complexity is O of k, where k is the size of the input string. As we are going to build the string over time at each level, the maximum size will not grow more than k. I hope you were able to understand how we use backtracking to solve this problem. Let me show you how we can implement this using C#. Here is my C# solution. I start by adding a couple of basic validations to make sure input is valid and well within the range. I then initialize my rows and columns variable, which are the m and n. After that, I'm starting a nested for loop to iterate through all of the elements in the grid with I and j as my rows and columns pointer. If the element that the I and j pointer are pointing equals to the first element in the string, it will be used as the root and we'll start building the tree. I then call the DFS method, which will help traverse through all of the neighbors for the current element. In this DFS method, I first set the current element that the row and column pointers are pointing to hash so that we don't iterate over that again and again. After that, I'm initializing an array for directions which will be used to calculate the new row and new column. I'm then starting a for loop to iterate through all of the 4 directions from the current element and then calculating the new row and new column. After calculating the new row and new column value, I am recursively calling the DFS method again while making sure that the values of the new row and column are valid. That is, it is not out of bound based on the grid size. I'm also making sure that the element that the new row and column are pointing is equal to the next character in the input string. If the conditions are suffice, we then call the DFS method recursively and passing the new values of the row and column. This recursive loop will continue until we have figured out the input string or we have exhausted all the combination and couldn't find the input string in the grid. In that case, our output will be false. This code, when submitted on LeetCode, beats nearly 25% of the submissions in terms of runtime and 10% in terms of memory. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you were able to understand the explanation. The details to access the source code is available in the description below. Feel free to check that out and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.